Okay, I think I hit all the buttons I'm supposed to. Welcome to A2Newtech November. My name is Zach Styler. I'm one of the organizers of this event and co-founder at OLARC. I guess I always like to start off with a show of hands. Is this your first A2Newtech for anyone? Okay, we're still pulling in a pretty sizable audience from outside of our usual crowd. The format is really simple. We have 5 people come and present their company for 5 minutes each, and then we get to grill them and ask them questions for 5 minutes. The purpose is sort of twofold. It allows local companies to introduce themselves to the wider tech community, and then it allows the wider tech community to either, I don't know, sort of force people to refine their ideas by asking these sort of leading questions, but also to sort of discover, each other's, tactics and methods. How do you start a company? How do you address these challenges? That sort of things. And so that we can all share this knowledge and benefit. Let's see here. What else? Okay, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. There's a bunch of announcements to make, but we'll sort of intersperse them in between the presentations. There will be a chance for community announcements. So if any of you have something in particular you want to announce, have that in mind. And without further delay, please welcome Paul from ParseNIP.
Thank you, Jack. Kris is also here. Kris will be answering the questions. I'll run the demo and get going. We have a company and we've made a data conversion product. It's in beta. The reason we're here is to invite people to come and talk to us if they like what they see. So everybody's drowning in data. There's a way of doing it that's been around for 10, 15 years. This is the way we've devised a solution. I've opened up the tool and I'm going through the file system here in this recording that I made. And I'm picking up an input file to convert. That file contains data for a car lot, a used car lot. So as I've gone through the process of opening the file, the application has sniffed it or taken a look at it and classified it. Its data types, its character set and so on. So the application is designed to absolve you from having to get into the technicalities. The stage that we're at now is the file is being mapped, and it's simply a question of dragging or dropping from left to right from input to output. What you've just seen is popping up a little dialogue for one of the commonly used data transformation scenarios that the application knows about. So mostly Kris, who's a CTO, has devised a way of taking the burden off you. So it's sort of going the long way around now in classifying one of the output fields. And what I'm going to do with that output field is I'm going to map the length of the car from inches into meters. So going around the wizard to do the simple math, everybody knows how to convert inches to meters. What I'm doing here is I'm doing it wrong. I'm converting to millimeters. So I'm going to invoke another feature in the application, which is a visual expression builder. And you can see here what we've got is something that's pretty much like a flow chart. So you build up the expressions for data conversion rules, the business rules, by adding pieces like in a workflow flow chart. So it's designed to be ultra easy to use, easy to learn. You notice as I join it up so it logically makes sense, it sort of comes to life and recolorizes. I'm clicking a button just to organize it, and there's a sort of dragon or peacock's tail appearance. So that expression is now ready to run. I've got a data conversion from one format to another, where I'm just about to go through some of the administration. We give the file a name, the output file a name, and I'm going to go on and say a few things, teach the software a few things about what I want, the delimiter, whether it's going to be Excel ready with tab delimiting or CSV, that type of thing, whether I want a particular character set, whether I want want it to be Unix formatted or Mac formatted or whatever. So that's the properties on the bottom left. And you notice I'm slowing down here. This is actually real time. So traditionally what people do is people write code for this, or write Visual Basic in Excel, or you pick up a tool like $50,000 per seat and have consultants do the work if you don't have coders do the work. So we're going to, well actually I missed out that I've already run the conversion. You can see the delimiter that I put in was just to visually make it stand out a little bit. You're unlikely to have delimiters like that in real life. So that's the conversion done. You save it, you rerun it again. But what I'm showing here is that I've realized I'm only interested in the American cars. So I'm just showing you a few seconds of applying a filter. So in effect, in these 4 minutes, I've not designed one data conversion and transformation project. I've done a couple and saved them off. There's a standalone version of this, so it can be run, for example, if you have a real estate business and you're aggregating data in healthcare, managing non-profits, donor lists and so on, aggregating inventory. Thanks.
Okay, I always do forget something. There's these little black boxes in front of you, and so if we call on you and you push down on the little 0-1 button, the little red light will pop up, and then you can speak to this great audio-visual system, and then that way we can get your questions sort of on the record. That was a great in-depth overview of the software itself. But could you just speak quickly? So some of us have had the unfortunate requirement of dabbling in enterprise software. So I think that the general idea here is that people have a bunch of data, they need to analyze it, they're not a coder, so they can use your tool to quickly go through and do that instead of paying $50,000 for a custom solution or having to wait 3 weeks for the programs to write it. Is that what's going on here?
That's correct. It's a general purpose data integration tool. It's a general purpose data integration tool. We have a website, www.parsenip.com, P-A-R-S-E-N-I-P. And you can download a 30-day free trial of the software there.
Sweet. Okay, so any questions from the audience? People who maybe have problems with the data, or yeah?
Who's your target market?
Well, to be honest, that's one of the reasons why we're here, because we've guessed at a target market, and so far we're really having a hard time either reaching that market or we've guessed entirely wrong. Initially, we felt our target market would be more like a power user, not necessarily an IT developer or programmer, but maybe somebody in IT like an administrator, or somebody like a consultant who works a lot with data, who might be working with a specialized tool like an accounting audit software, where they have a single unified target they're trying to hit to bring data into their tool, but they may be going to multiple clients that have multiple formats of data that they need to pull in. Do you get the picture?
Oh no, you please go ahead.
And jump in the back.
The ETL space is a pretty tough space to actually be in. Not only are you competing with products, but you're also competing, as you kind of alluded to, your own custom VB or things like that. So how are you guys really rising above and bubbling? Was it? I heard you mention cost. I heard you mention something, but I wasn't sure what you were standing on. As far
And what is ETL for those of us?
Well, ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. And to be honest, we're really not trying to go against the major ETL players. I think the problem that we're facing right now is that people don't know there's a solution that's out there that could help them. So we're, in a sense, maybe we're lower down on the rung of the ladder.
Yeah.
My vision is that we'd be helping maybe the person in HR who's posed with a lot of data that they're trying to get into the various systems, but they don't know that there's tools that could help them, and they're always going to IT for programming or development work.
So I'm going to say there's two things. One is people are motivated to do it themselves, but don't want to get into coding and scripting. And the second thing is people who don't have a lot of money. We're after that space.
There was someone in the middle.
What's your licensing or your revenue model after 30 days?
It's a one-off sale, and that's our revenue model. You can buy the product from us for permanent use. And if there's an upgrade, you can choose whether to take the upgrade or not on a paid-for basis. But it's a permanent license, perpetual.
Thanks.
So I used to work in consulting and I did a lot of data analysis. A funny story, I did have somebody in HR reach out to me to do analysis on data because she didn't know how. But there's like two problems. One is a lot of our clients, they don't even know what type of analysis to do. And even if they did know, they probably wouldn't know how to do it. So are you sure by only solving the how-to part, are you sure that's enough to gain significant traction? Is there a way that you can show people like what metrics are important or what types of analyses are important?
Well, to be honest, the tool wasn't necessarily meant to be a business intelligence tool to actually generate the KPIs and the metrics. It was meant to be a tool that would get foreign data from someone else's data set into a tool that would then be used for analysis. So we're not really trying to address the, what can I do with this data to learn from it. We're just trying to help people get the data into a format so that they can learn.
I think we have time for one last question.
So what have you done to validate these assumptions that you've built into the product? Have you talked to customers? Have you, I see a lot of suppositions. What have you done to validate them?
Well, to be honest,
No, please, yeah.
Okay. To be honest, there are a lot of suppositions, and to be honest, that's why we're here, is because I think we're actually at a point where we need to learn from you or from your critical thinking to understand what can we do to take this to the next level. We feel we have a good idea and a good concept. Just feel like we're having a hard time reaching. Anything to add?
The validation that we've done is that I've had a lot of production use out of it, but I'm a crowd of one at the moment, so we're looking for people to join in. Hence the 30-day beta period that we give away, and we'll support it up to the hill for anybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I should mention also that usually after the events, people are still sticking around for a bit and available to answer questions. If people have further discussions or comments or want to ask clarifying or follow-up sort of questions. Mohammed, do you want to get set up next? Okay, and then while he's doing that, I need to make sure to thank our sponsors. First and foremost, University of Michigan Law School Entrepreneurship Clinic has been extremely kind in hosting us here in this wonderful venue, and has been very helpful in helping us plan a number of tech events upcoming. Also, Safford and Baker is a law firm that specializes in helping startups get some of their early paperwork done. Is another one of our sponsors. And lastly, A2Geeks. After the last A2Newtech, some people were asking me what A2Geeks is. It's a bit hard to explain. It's sort of a meta organization that helps plan a number of different smaller events in Ann Arbor. Things like A2Newtech, things like Coffee House Coders, things like Ann Arbor Geek Tours, that sort of thing. If you're looking for more information, they just relaunched an excellent website at a2geeks.org. Okay, and with that, our next presenter is Mohammed from Panda Cash Back.
Hello everyone. This is our agenda for the next 5 minutes. I would like to start by introduction of myself. My name is Mohammed Shaker, and this is some back information about me. Today I would like to talk about how you save when you shop online. But before I start with that, I would like to give you just a small snapshot about how much is the online market. So according to the Cincy Bureau, this is the volume of sales in 2008. It exceeds 228,545,000 million dollars, and that number just increased in 2009. Now, this is what people usually shop for online. I tried just to point out the main category. But the question is, why people shop online? Well, people shop online because they want to save money. Regardless, you can see they have different categories, but the main thing they want to do is to save money, regardless because of less taxes or because they don't want to spend money on the gas and so on. And because people want to save money, people try to find more and other new ways to reduce their cost. So some people go and look for coupons, other people go and look for daily deals or local deals. And also you can go for rebates. Well, probably the rebate is the least known out there. So rebates is what we actually do in Panda Cash Back. Somebody come, join the website, find a store he's interested on. Let's say you are, for example, interested in going to shop in Bed Bath & Beyond or Macy's. Click on the link and go to the website and make your purchase. Well, you done that, you get your stuff. Little bit later, you get money. Well, that sounds like a scam for me, doesn't it? Well, it doesn't. Okay, now let me explain why I'm paying you money. I'm not really paying you money. I'm just giving you some of the money that the company is giving me back. Let's say Southern here, go to Panda Cash Back, log in and go to Macy's. She may go and buy for $100, and let's say we are giving 2% or 5% cash back for Macy's. Well, because she go and bought through us, the company give us a percentage back because we are increasing their volume of sales. Well, most companies or corporate websites take that money and hide it in their pocket. Well, it's not the case for us. We return part of that money back to you. So why Panda Cash Back? Well, these are a few of the partners we have. We have over 1,000 stores today, and we are working hard to increase that number. We are looking for small businesses, medium businesses, and big businesses. Any business is welcome to come and join us as long as he is willing to participate. This is a snapshot of one of the accounts. Joining is free, and you can see somebody come here and shop for like 80 and made it for, and he gets $7.39 back. When you can see his account is $12.39, this is because we're giving you bonus $5 when you sign up. There's no strange attached, and you get $5 for each active referral. That once you refer your friend and he come and make a purchase, you get $5. Don't worry, you are not taking it from your friend. So these are two new features because we want you to save more. We are now adding a new feature called local deals. This one is alive right now. You can find all the local deals around in Rover, Living Social, and you still can find them in one place and earn a cashback on these stores. A new feature that's not yet on board, but we are in the implementation phase. We're going to provide you the coupons. Don't go waste your time. However, our coupons is different from the 100,000 store outside website over there that will tell you, come here, click on this link and get a special deal. Well, you are not getting it. But we are giving you these coupons as a live feed from the company or the store itself. Questions?
Oh yeah. Are there other audience questions? I certainly have a question. In order to track this the shopping behavior, do I have to shop through pandacashback.com?
You must log in. Once you sign up, once you are logged in, we are giving you an ID. You don't see it, but once you go and shop in any of these stores, this ID tracks the purchase back to you. So once we upload this sale, we can tell you that bought this item for that amount. And
so transactions have to happen on Panda Cash Back. If I go to Amazon.com and buy
no,
something,
you are not buying from us. You just click the link on our website.
okay, but I have to click the link from your website.
Yes, and you go make your sale over there. Use a trusted store that you are interested in.
How did you go about getting so many partners? How did you contact them the first time? How many follow-up contacts?
Well, to be fair, it's not our first business and deals. We used to have a coupon websites. And this is probably one of the reasons we are getting more partners. We are making a good number of sales. So it's easier to entice other partners to come and join us. The more sales we make, the higher chances we get new partners. So we are trying to get in touch with these companies as we are going along. We're having a little bit more luck to attract the small businesses and faster because many of these you can find stores that are exclusively only on our website. repeat the question?
How are you different from other websites like eBay.com? Like there are like hundreds of sites like
eBay doesn't offer for you local deals. eBay would not be able to compete us with the rates. We guarantee for you the highest rebates for at least 80% of the stores. Not every single store, because we know they have much volume on sales. We cannot compete with them on every single store. But we can guarantee for you that much. And right now, the coupons we guarantee for you is live. If you go check our, I don't want to mention names, but you can find the reviews online and check out why we would be better. Feel free. Sure.
So what does Panda Cash Back do with the customer's information after you?
We don't collect much information. The only information we will ask from you is either your PayPal, or if you want to get a check, we'll have to ask for your address and your phone name.
So there's no tracking of customer purchases or storing that information?
We have the minimum number of information on our website. Whatever information you add to the store are not coming back to us.
So I have about 3 credit cards in my wallet which provide cash back. So I get the fact that you provide a bigger rebate, okay?
Well, don't worry. Whatever purchase, if you have Chase, if you have Discovery, this does not affect you. Actually, you earn cash back twice. It's both the credit card company and the us.
So, but why is the merchant willing to provide you a bigger rebate than, say, to American Express?
Well, it's different. The American Express giving you the rebates based on the commission he is taking for the credit card transaction. For us, out of the sale, so it's kind of different. Sure.
Are you using your traditional affiliate agreement for this? And is this against the terms of service because you're not allowed to offer discounts, and do they know that you're doing this?
Every single affiliated website over here is allowing us to do that. We are not doing something illegal over here. So any relationship we have with any of these stores is 100% legal, and they know what we are doing. Actually, it is not something illegal. It's not something new. Rebates have been out there for a long time.
I wasn't suggesting illegal. I was just.
I understand your point. I know some stores are not okay with that. This is why you will not find every single store on our website. Some companies will say, no, we don't want to give people the money back. We give you, yes, but we are not giving back. So this is like Amazon. Amazon wouldn't be okay with doing that. So you will not find Amazon in our store, at least for now.
Give me a sense of your cash flow in this. In other words, how many people do you have to have going through your site for purchasing in 1 month to make X number of profit, X number of dollars of profit?
Well, it depends on what you are buying and what you're buying it from. Because from one store to another, I will probably give you a commission 100% in a specific store, while on another store I can give you up to 75% of the commission.
Let me clarify. I'm not looking for me as a consumer. I'm looking for me as an investor in your company. So tell me how many people have to use your services in order to you to make a positive cash flow in your company?
Again,
a ballpark.
I understand, but our relationship with different stores varies. So let me give you a good example. First, we have a competition, just like you mentioned. If we come for a store that provide you 5% cash, okay? Let's say Macy's, for example, and we cannot go for lower than that. Even if we make no money out of your sales, even if we have one channel that makes for us 0 commission, we will have to provide the channel as it is. So let's say we have 1,000 sales goes from that channel, we will make a 0 commission. However, let's say we have another store where we don't have that competition. Okay? If we make 100 sales and we are making $10 in each, for example, this is $1,000 commission on one channel. So I cannot really give you numbers unless because with that much number of partners, it's a little bit more complicated than X number of sales.
I think we'll have to leave it at that for now, and then afterwards, if you guys want to continue the discussion, please feel welcome to. Okay, thank you again, Mohammed. Okay, let's see here. What else? Oh yeah. So there are many upcoming events. This Thursday, we've actually rented out the Arbor Brewing Company tap room for an event that we're calling Pitches Over Pitchers. It's going to be a little bit similar crowd as to A2Newtech, where it's a mixture of people who are entrepreneurs, people who are interested in startups, that sort of thing. And it's basically going to be a happy hour that we all go to after work. If that's something that interests you, go on Facebook and search for Pitches Over Pitchers. It's going to be a really good time. What else is coming up? Oh yeah, and then next Wednesday, there's on North Campus something called the A2CS Mixer. Is there anyone here who is affiliated with that? That's not an event I completely understand. I think what's happening is that the University of Michigan wants their faculty and engineering students on North Campus to be more involved with the entrepreneurial community. So they are hosting a bunch of people on North Campus in the Betty and Bob Beister building, which is a mouthful to say. And that is next Wednesday. So if you Google for A2CS Tech Mixer, there'll be more details about that. And now to sort of change gears a little bit, Joe, I don't know, would you describe yourself as a serial entrepreneur, as a repeat entrepreneur at the very least? Recently was able to sell his company TigerLead, and he's here to tell us a little bit about TigerLead and what that process was like.
Hi, my name's Joe Ingersoll, and this is a personal story of a startup called TigerLead that began in 2004 and ended with $22 million sale to a larger company. To be clear, my involvement in that company ended in 2011, June, and there's certain terms in that agreement when I left, and there's certain things that I can and can't talk about tonight. So, but I think there are really some good lessons that I can impart that had to do with going through the entire process from startup through execution, and lessons being the only technical founder. A little bit of my background: I've been a developer and programmer for 16 years. I prefer open source tools and languages. Overview of timeline. So my personal involvement was 2004 to 2011. The startup phase was 2004 through 2007. Execution phase, 2007 to 2011. And the sale this past September. So TigerLead, brief overview. Founded in May of 2007, we provided a home buyer lead generation and management for residential real estate agents. There was no outside investment. It was all initial capital provided by the 4 founders. And it was acquired by Move, which is actually the owner-operator of Realtor.com and other real estate vertical-related businesses. So the startup phase, some key discoveries. I saw an opportunity as a web developer and a first-time home buyer to really improve existing online tools. Starting with effective use of the new emerging PPC marketing, Google AdWords. A major pivot was going from optional registration to required registration. Another key pivot in the revenue model was going from referral fees to a monthly licensing fee. And it was discovered early on, it was not practical to try to collect revenue based on referrals. So execution phase. I want to cover some of the key mistakes that I personally made. So I founded TigerLead with 3 partners that lacked any technical or industry expertise. I also agreed to an unbalanced equity distribution based on the partners' expertise. The company really struggled with lopsided resource allocation. And we also reached a growth ceiling because there was really no investment in new product development. Just a lack of the startup mentality with the other 3 partners. So the key lessons learned: importance of immersion in the industry while you're experimenting with your target market. Also the importance of really establishing an appropriate business structure. So let me elaborate on those. Really taking risks and learning in the industry. And I took risks with a variety of multiple business partners during that startup period. I let innovation rather than revenue or business goals drive that phase. And I really accepted and engaged in necessary industry learning experiences. I mean, I actually went and got a real estate license and sat in the local Keller Williams office for months and interacted with dozens and dozens of realtors. I'm trying to build this complex technical product, and I'm getting peppered with the most inane questions. But the experience was invaluable to learning some of the key things that ended up in the final business model that led to the execution. Investing in initial structure. You need to have a balanced equity structure that reflects the expertise and that supports the new growth and product development. And another example, without outside investment early on, I really wasn't able to make and utilize key hires. About 2 years in, we were actually able to recruit Tim Bunce. Any Perl people in the audience will know that he's the author of DBI and just a Perl genius. However, at that late stage, I only really could utilize him to prop up the existing product and put out fires rather than leverage his expertise for new product development. So what's next for me? I'm casually experimenting in the same industry and looking for the next best opportunity. Thank you.
So thank you in particular for reminding us that entrepreneurship isn't always sitting in a locked room making awesome software and this great dream that they're. I think it was Paul Graham who recently called starting a company a series of schleps. And I think for those of us who are currently involved in startups, we know the truth of that. I guess to open it up to audience questions.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate more on why you feel that the price per lead model is not sustainable versus a subscription model? Is that just a matter of convenience where it's nice to have this recurring revenue, or?
Yeah, recurring revenue is a big one. It really broke down. Internally, we had a price per lead breakdown. However, it was less complex. It was for billing purposes and just constant people saying, this is a bad lead, I want a refund. And the customers were pretty happy to have one fixed price. They could budget internally.
Even if that results in a higher cost per lead, they were just happy with it.
They usually didn't really know exactly what it was. They were doing deals, and they felt the ROI really worked in their favor, so it wasn't really an issue. Yeah.
Could you speak to the sell process of the company? When did it occur? How long did it take? What were your expenses to be able to get rid of the company?
Early on, it was tough. We were creating a new market at the early stage. Actually had
I guess I have to clarify. I'm not talking about selling your product. I'm talking about selling your company in September. When did it initially start? What was the process you went through?
I was unaware and not involved in that sale. I sold my interest to the 3 partners almost a year prior.
Okay.
Is your next opportunity to do with real estate again? Do you want to go back into that?
It would make sense to leverage.
Okay, so what do you think about what Zillow is doing at the moment with their acquisitions and their lead generation strategy?
Are you allowed to answer? Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I see what they're doing. I mean, there's a lot of industry discussion about Zillow and how do they really provide a real value to the consumer. I spent a lot of time talking to actual agents, and they despise Google, or they despise Zillow, they despise Realtor.com, and Trulia and others. They feel like they're taking their data that they worked hard, their listings, and then putting it out there and then selling the leads back to them. I don't personally like that model.
You seemed a little unenthusiastic about the acquisition, so I'm kind of curious. I know you probably can't go into a lot of detail about it, but what would you tell us when we're structuring a company, especially if we're the primary developer, to watch out for, to prepare for, and stop any problems that could happen when an acquisition does happen?
Early on, like I said, I picked partners based on personal familiarity rather than expertise. Like, it would have made a lot more sense for me to go out and find somebody who had already executed a company in the space, had a lot of contacts, industry contacts, and also somebody who was able to bring capital.
Get back. You said you started with 4 partners or 3 other partners.
Correct.
What was the sort of the size of the company and the sort of composition as far as roles when by acquisition?
Oh, by acquisition?
Like, had you grown, were you 4 all the way through, or how much had you grown, and what types of roles did you have to bring on
No,
board?
we had, I'm sure, when I left, there was dozens of employees. Yeah.
You mentioned you were entirely self-funded. Can you talk about sort of the reasons why you went that route? And
honestly, I'd like to ask those other 3 partners. So, what I know now, I wouldn't go that route again. However, it was just, they had bootstrapped a previous business, so it's kind of like the status quo with them. Because they weren't part of the key startup phase, the experimentation, they weren't really ready to accept that level of risk, I think. I mean, I can't speak for them, but...
You mentioned that in some ways have an effect on the ceiling, the growth ceiling that you experienced?
I think so, yeah.
I think we have time for one more question if you want to squeeze one in.
So Joe, I know you weren't part of the exit when it happened, but Basil Peters, who runs the Vancouver Angels, has the only book I've ever seen on early exits for companies called Early Exits at exits.com. It's a good book. But at any rate, he kind of points out that a lot of technology companies ride it over the top, right, in terms of selling well after, right, they ought to. By the time they hit revenue, they get valued on not a strategic multiple, but instead on a multiple of cash, like your trailing multiple of revenue that maybe is not where they could have been, right, in terms of that. You said that by the end of it, by 2011, they were not really doing anything new. You had left and they were kind of stagnant. Was this sort of a distressed sale, or do you have any sense of the multiple on it? Or?
I guess it makes sense that they immediately looked for a buyer when I left. I mean, that makes sense for the composition of the company at that point. And the fact that there was no mentality or culture of creating new products.
Okay, well, I hope you can stick around for a little bit while after. Thank you so much for presenting. Yeah, Jeff, go next. Let's see here. Any community announcements while Jeff is getting set up, particularly about futures that you have? Yes. It's soon, isn't it?
Yes. Future Tech is coming up shortly. I'm here at the Ross School of Business, so we have to talk about it. It's our annual conference, basically bringing together different leaders in big and small tech companies, startups, and established to talk about various issues or topics. This year, our theme is digital convergence, so we'll be looking at different ways that various digital things are impacting mostly consumer daily life. So that's next Saturday, December 8th at the Michigan Union. It's umfuturetech.com, no E in the Future Tech. And you can talk to me afterwards. There's also a demo showcase if any startups are interested in demoing a product. Feel free to talk to me as well.
And who will be attended? Will be students, professors, area entrepreneurs?
Anybody is welcome.
Okay, cool.
Interested in tech.
Okay, awesome. And then up now is Jeff from PhotoSocial.
Hi, everybody. So before I start, I wanted to take you through my motivation for building this app and starting this business. I love taking photos. I take a lot of photos of friends and family and all that. But the iPhone is great at taking photos. It's convenient. But when I go back to look at my photos, it's miserable. This is what it looks like. It's plain, it's disorganized, it's a flat list. I can't tell what's from what and what's from when. It's hard to look at old photos. You just end up scrolling and scrolling. And if you have an iPhone, you have no doubt experienced this if you take photos with it. There's worse is there's no photos from friends, even though there's so much to share. To me, it's really disappointing that Apple hasn't done anything about this, and that it's not that much better on Android either. So to introduce PhotoSocial to you, direct you to a clip from TechCrunch.
Essentially what it is the replacement for your iPhone's photo gallery, which sounds semi-redundant, right? Yeah. But if you think about your iPhone's photo gallery, since you first owned an iPhone, it's essentially been exactly the same for, what, 2007, 5 years? Yeah. Which is unacceptable. It's actually, and you never really think about it until you see what a photo gallery should look like. And this is exactly what it should look like. I mean, it's just...
So yeah, so you would never think someone would get so excited about a photo gallery until you see one that's done right, and you remember what it should be like to look at your photos. And PhotoSocial does this. So it starts it off by breaking your photos up by day, then making it simple to give any day a name. Reorganize, and easily jump around to see what you want. Then behaves smooth and has a stream view for casually going through your photos. If you have too many photos, it has a natural gesture, a quick gesture to get rid of photos, put them in a trash bin. And best of all, it's socially aware. On every day, there's a button to share. You can tap it, pick friends, and that's it. It's even smart enough to know if those friends have any photos to share back with you, if they were taking photos with you. So, just like that, you can share a lot of photos, you get photos back of yourself, and go back to enjoying looking at your photos. So I've been building this app for the better part of the year. I came from the Windows world. I've been developing apps on Windows for the last 10 years or so. I have a couple popular apps. One of them is Fences, Bins, Object Doc. They're all utilities that are made to make the operating system usable and better. And just this year I picked up iOS, and it was really one of the first things that I saw was that this photo gallery. As I said, I love taking photos, and it just wasn't doing it. So that's what motivated me to create this application. Back on Windows. I'll just brag for a moment. My credentials are strong on building worthwhile applications, so there's a sampling. People had some good things to say. So that's me. I'm Jeff Bargmann. I'm an MBA here at Michigan, computer science background, and PhotoSocial's here what I'm here to present.
Cool. So, yeah, I didn't realize that you developed fences and stuff. I have fences on all my Windows machines.
All right.
Were you working at Stardock during that, or did they just publish it?
Yeah, we work together. They predominantly, it's a relationship, they publish it, but we work together to figure out what's going to be in the app and stuff like that.
Fences is way awesome.
It's on the record.
So what's the structure? It's just you building it yourself? Do you have any other structure as far as a business surrounding that? What are your ambitions?
So right now it's just been me. Just been keeping it very small, very lean, because it's gone through iterations over time here. Now that I have something, it was very difficult to make it live up to that promise of being a better gallery. Now that it's there, now I'm looking to build up a team around it. I want to get an Android version made. I have a cloud Azure backend, but I just want to make all that stuff more robust. So I'm in the process of team building it, actively seeking.
What do you anticipate the App Store price for it being?
Free.
Okay, so what's your business model?
Business model, I have a couple slides for that here. It's this right here, this right here, and then this right here. If you can make it convenient and easy and fast, I think that people will go back to buying photos.
Sorry, what were the prior two elements?
I'm sorry? Oh. So this is just, you're in the stream, you could swipe to the left to get rid of the photo. If you swipe to the right, it'll add it to your cart. You just pull it to the right, it selects it, you can select other photos, and you can add them to a folder, you can purchase printed, or you can buy prints. I'm hoping to change that model as well by, I don't know what I want to do yet, but maybe decreasing the shipping price, maybe just, once you hit 5 photos, they just dispatch you automatically. Still toying around with that.
I have kind of a two-part question, but they're separate elements. So one is customer acquisition. It looks like the other people have to have the app to be able to share it. I assumed as a vector so that you can share it even if they don't have the app, and that's how you bring people on board?
Right, yep. So in that demo where you just hit the share button and you pick friends, if any of those people don't have the application, it knows that and it'll pop up something to let you know. And just as a button there to send them a text message.
The other question is, so what happens when, if this thing is sexy, Apple and Google, they'll all wake up and they'll say, let's improve our own gallery. What's your defensibility once they roll that out, like Google experience with maps on their iPhone?
Yeah, so a couple different angles on that. For one, I think their cycles are longer, so I think they'll be slow getting there. Two, I think the cross-compatibility, and that's where I want to get on Android, the cross-compatibility will be huge. And 3, once you're able to get a user base and get known for doing this, it's not going to matter as much what they do, and they're going to be less incentivized. I had been worried about this all year. I conceptualized this last fall. I was very concerned about Apple blowing me out of the water. iOS 6 announcement in the summer, iPhone 5, but it just never happened. And eventually the fear just dissipated. The fear, even though there was 1,000 photo apps, they're all doing something totally different. They're not trying to accomplish what I'm accomplishing. In the back.
Are you just pulling from the native iPhone contacts, and then are you thinking about Facebook integration? I guess I'm looking at this.
Yeah, it uses Facebook integration right now. I might be tying in the contacts eventually as well, but right now just the Facebook integration. But it's private; it doesn't post anything.
Have you considered distributing through something like Magic Moments?
I haven't considered partnerships yet, but that's somewhere where I want to go. That's just where I am, as one person, limited in what I can do. And I think step 1 is you need to prove that there's traction. You've got to prove that people want this, and then you can get up and have these partnerships. Though I think there is something to be said for getting these relationships going at a time.
Is the checkout going through in-app purchases, and do you have to give 30% to Apple?
No, the checkout does not go through the App Store. Actually, physical goods you can't even sell. You're not even allowed to do. So there's a credit card input for you to do that. And that's not actually, I'm not launching with that feature either. That's something I want to vet out a little further because phase 1 is be a better photo gallery and then monetize. But no 30% going out.
The search, is it just done by date or word, or is it possible to use facial recognition to search with?
There was an API. Face.com had an API. Facebook since bought them. I'm wondering if that'll come back. There's no facial recognition in it right now. That would be nice for recommendations. It actually does already use, I think, more accurate even, uses location-based data in the photos, and that's how it can actually figure out who people are taking photos together. It will recommend that people share photos. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Jack. While John's getting set up, as I hope you all know, this is actually the last A2Newtech that we're doing for 2012. We do not have any plans to meet in this format in December. We'll be back in January of 2013, probably the same place, probably the usual time. And of course, you can always find out when we're meeting at a2newtech.org. I really want to, well, I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, I really want to thank everyone. It's been a heck of a year. Jon from Oomba is actually going to be our 40th presenter. We've had people present, certainly everyone from students to seasoned entrepreneurs, University of Michigan professors. Amanda Chaco from Grand Rapids announced the Start Garden program at one of our A2Newtechs. I believe maybe even the day before that it was announced to the public. People have been talking about mobile apps, web apps, prefabricated data centers, bikes that don't require shifting, autonomous quadcopters that inspect bridges for cracks and that sort of thing. And so it really has been a heck of a year. So thank you all for coming here. Thank you to all of our presenters throughout the entire year. We really couldn't do it without you. And then last but not least is John from Oomba.
Wait.
I guess that microphone is yours.
Hold on.
Take change. Emergency tape change.
Emergency.
Oh no.
Who knew?
Try bring it back in again.
We worked earlier.
Yeah, there's a button maybe to switch between the displays. So it's just a monitor. If you do it maybe twice or something.
Oh no.
Huh. Well, that's not last time, did we have to do anything, or it was upside down?
No,
first time, or what? I guess, are there any other key announcements while we're trying to figure out the...
I like reading books. I got it on a flash drive or use someone else's PC.
Oh yeah, actually, if you have it on a flash drive, you can put it on this computer.
Oh boy.
If you turn your laptop around, it pulls it up. I think we have one community announcement.
Yeah, make community announcement. I'll just.
Where'd he go?
Thank you. If you're looking at doing something in December, I'm from Lansing. We have an event every year of all the user groups in Lansing, and it's a demo camp. Now, demo camp, I think it was originated in Toronto, and we have startups do presentations, and basically they're not like investor presentations. They're showing off the startup, sharing some of the technology, because it's all programmers pretty much in the audience. And it's just a great gathering. We had like 140 people there last year. It's going to be December 12th. It's out on Eventbrite. And it's at 5:30, and it's at the Michigan Historical Museum, which is right down by the Capitol. And if there are any startups, we're still looking for presenters. We had a few from Ann Arbor last year. You need to write nk@msu.edu. And he's in charge of all the presentations. That's Nick. That's about it. We'd love to see a few people from Ann Arbor up there.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Is there a website?
No, unfortunately this year there isn't. There's just if you search for Lansing Demo Camp on Eventbrite, it brings it up.
Well, I spoke too soon. Hopefully we don't have 39 presenters this year at A2. Oh yeah, sure, come for another community announcement. Another thing that we sometimes do after A2Newtech is head to Pizza House for sort of a late dinner and drinks. So anyone that would be interested in doing that after this edition of A2Newtech? Okay, then we'll see you all at Pitches and Pictures on Thursday.
Hi, how y'all doing? My name is Ben Freed. I'm a reporter for AnnArbor.com, and I've been a business reporter for about 6-7 months now, and I've been writing kind of a tech beat column. So I'm very interested in everything that you guys do, and I'm learning a lot. I don't admittedly have a background in tech or business, but I've been learning a lot, and I'm trying to really wrap my head around a lot of the really cool things you guys are doing. So please, I'll be sticking around for a while after this. Approach me, tell me about what you're doing. I'm always looking for new cool ideas. So if you see me around town, if you see me tonight, I'll give you a card. Let me know when you're planning something big, releasing a beta, doing anything like that. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks.
Yeah, since we got a couple minutes, D-Newtech, Detroit Newtech, which is a spinoff of A2Newtech, is next Wednesday in Detroit. So sometimes it's the same presenters, but they're a little different format there in that they have a featured speaker for like 20 minutes who talks about something important. Also, you should be getting ready for ACE 13 Annual Collaboration for Entrepreneurship, which instead of being in Ann Arbor this year is going to be in Livonia at the,
Burton Manor.
What is it?
Burton Manor.
Burton Manor, yeah. So that's something to look forward to. There'll probably be about 1,000 people there. So it looks like we're about ready to go here.
You know where the Detroit version is?
Where is it?
Yes.
It's at one of the startups there. Atomic something, yeah.
Oh yeah, Atomic Object.
You go to dnewtech.org, you can look up the event.
Thank you. Do you have one last announcement while we're getting the presentation loaded?
Oh yes, one last announcement. Down in Detroit at the Madison, this Thursday from noon to 4, I'm trying to bring together local web developers and software developers, both from Ann Arbor and Detroit, just for us to come together, work on our projects. It's free parking and there's also free coffee available. So just come down this Thursday, noon to 4 at the Madison. And I'm Stephanie Lewis, by the way.
Perfect, thank you. And I think we might be good to go. Okay.
All right.
The slowest, most powerful computer in the room. Hello. Oh, come on. Thank you all for your patience. Okay, well, hopefully I explained your attention and that you're excited to hear about Oomba. Okay, so what is Oomba? Oomba is laser focused on what we're calling organized play. And I don't just mean games and a play experience, but very specifically organized play. I'll come back to that in a minute. First I want to tell you a little bit about the company. The company is headquartered in Irvine, California. And to date, we've raised a seed round just under $1 million. And there's about 20 people now. We're growing, we're hiring. The team is extremely distributed throughout the country. And development is run completely in HipChat and GitHub. So any cafe you're at, you can get your work done. Let me tell you a little bit about the founders of Oomba. Mike Wood is the CEO. He's a game industry veteran. He's a pretty good track record of raising capital and mergers and acquisitions. Nolan Bushnell, for those of us in the crowd who are old enough to remember Pong and Atari 2600, he was behind that, so he's a pretty famous guy. A little bit about me. Who am I? I'm a game industry veteran too, but not as veteran. 10 years in the industry. I started at Microsoft and Xbox One. Designed some other games, and recently, like if you know me around town at A2Newtech, I was working on mobile games for iOS under my own company, Grand Circus Games. I joined Oomba about 2 months ago full time. So back to organized play. So when we're talking about organized play, we kind of feel it's like player versus player competitive gaming of some kind, and that's the sweet spot for us. Currently, there's no one product or company that's owning this space, and specifically the thing that we're focusing on is tournaments. And how are tournaments being run right now? Well, this is kind of it here. They're on paper and pen, or maybe somebody is making an Excel sheet or rolling their own software for it. It's not the greatest thing ever. Tournaments are an important piece of what Oomba has identified as the 3 main components necessary to cultivate high lifetime value users in free-to-play games. A lot of games have just 2 of these pieces. They're still very successful, but what we're seeing is like the highest lifetime value players, the best games, have all 3 of these components working together. So we're going to focus on tournaments because Oomba has a product called challenge.com that is a tournament management system. Challenge.com is a super quick and easy way to generate tournament brackets and execute run a tournament. It's been around for quite a few years and been slowly growing organically. And I get some interesting, cool numbers to look at for challenge.com. Lately, it's been growing really good. It's actually doing quite well. This is kind of what you might call traction. people are using Challenge for all sorts of things, playing ping pong with their friends or a drinking game, or they're in the Philippines playing League of Legends like with their friends. Right now, we're seeing as many as 700,000 monthly active users, and we're hoping that, like our new release, we're going to better capture user registration and have over 1 million monthly actives from that. Here's just a closer look at tournaments by month. Up to the bottom here, August. Currently, we're looking at probably by the end of November should be exceeding 20,000 per month. So the big news, I just blew the announcement. Due to the growth of the company, Oomba is very excited to announce we're expanding to Ann Arbor. We've got an office there, 216 East Washington. And that's why I'm here, just to announce that. So as of December 1st, this will be open, and we're hiring very aggressively. To tell you, we're offering extremely competitive salaries and equity, and we're looking for developers of all sorts. Oomba is a very flat company, and organizationally, we're looking for developers who are extremely entrepreneurial, looking for an opportunity to make a big impact. So we feel that tournaments can be, within the next maybe 6 to 12 months, possibly like $1 million a month business. If this sounds exciting for you, you're a developer out there, and you may want to talk further, feel free to reach out to me, jon@oomba.com. And I'm looking forward to, being part of the community as part of Oomba, and we'll be definitely at all the A2Newtechs from here on. Questions?
How easy is it for land centers and organizations to kind of just pick up challenge and make a tournament?
Super easy. In fact, that's a lot of our usage is actually being done with that. The team was actually on site in Irvine a week ago, and we stopped at Howie's Game Shack, where it's a giant land center where if you go buy into their League of Legends tournament on the weekend, they use Challenge to execute it. So it's pretty cool. Any other questions? Down here.
Pricing? How's it priced?
Right now it's completely free, and in fact, challenge.com has an open API. So, we're seeing developers integrate it and just host brackets on their site. There's a big, huge update coming though December 5th, and it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna close some of the user registration holes right now, and it may even introduce some form of monetization. We don't know yet.
Why open an office here?
Why Ann Arbor? Okay, so if anyone knows, it's very hard to recruit developers right now on the West Coast. Ann Arbor has a great mix, of lower cost of living compared to San Fran, and great engineering students coming out of the university here. And it's just also got a great history as a tech startup hub. There's a lot of experienced talent in the area that we want to access.
Down the road, how are you going to dodge the NCAA and sports leagues? And that's where the real money would seem. Or do you have an interest in that at all?
Right now, people are using the brackets for anything they can think of. So if you wanted to run an office pool of NCAA brackets, you can do that for free right now on Challenge. It's not like down the road where it's something that we want to aggressively monetize. We're kind of looking at Challenge in the future as developing what we call connected tournaments, which will self-report and kind of self-organize and pay for themselves as well. So that's more in the digital space. But we are definitely tournaments for everything and anything. So we'll see what happens.
So how do you maintain a positive cash flow?
We're not.
When do you plan on maintaining the positive cash
Oh,
flow?
did I forget to mention Oomba is raising a large Series A round that I can't even give you any more detail. That's all I can tell you is that we are going to raise more money. So
if you're asking for people, you got to tell them how they're going to get paid.
Right. Well, we'll see if this user base is enough traction to raise money or not. In the back.
So is Oomba planning on developing any of its own games that would maybe seamlessly integrate the Challenge platform?
Not specifically, no. We don't want to be in the business of developing games. We want to partner with games that are successful. And we have some partnerships on the table that I can't talk about, but would be very exciting. Esports and competitive gaming is kind of rising right now. It's a very exciting space, wide open. So hopefully we can capture some of that value.
There is a bit of an asymmetry. Oomba, the website, has sort of these great ideas about organized play, and certainly more people than ever are playing games in all sorts of forms, particularly casual gaming on phones or whatever. But then Challenge is is a very specific tool that's also free. So it's a big step from a free tool, which has great traction, to $1 million a month. So are you thinking of trying to monetize Challenge, or have other tools to help people, I don't know, that they would interact with while playing games?
Yeah, I mean, kind of how we get to, it's a free utility now, to $1 million a month in revenue is through partnerships. So, yeah, I mean, we can roll something custom for a partner that already has a ton of revenue flying through it. We hope we can break off some of that for ourselves.
Do you have a competitor?
There is some competitive game as a service stuff out there. Nothing specifically. Challenge actually was acquired by Oomba because they were the leader in online tournaments at the time. Xfire is trying to roll their own sort of thing like this. A lot of people are looking hard at this space. They want to do something. So I imagine we will have a lot of competition.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all, folks. Have a nice night.